What's going on, everybody? It's your boy BOJ. Today is June the 1st, 2026. Listen, everyone, it's the start of a new month, start of a new week, and it is Monday, all right? And I was just riding around in my work van today, I was actually on my phone doing my, I shouldn't even be doing that while I'm driving, but I was, right? I was getting my daily MoveQuest submission in for the day. And I just found myself reflecting on how crazy it is that we live in a time where something like this is even possible, all right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Everything that goes on with crypto and blockchain and MoveQuest, and as it pertains to that, just the opportunity that we have, right? For those of you that do not know, I am a person that mines with all Titans, all right? I have 18 docking slots open, filled, and I submit every single day, all right? One thing that I was just kind of thinking about this morning was how much MoveQuest has just continued to improve the user experience. Even from my side as a person that uses Titan miners, they've actually made things a lot easier financially. And now that I've had a few weeks to kind of sit with the new fee for the Titan holders, it's pretty awesome that we have been able to save some money on our submission costs, but it has not affected the ecosystem or the price in a negative way. It just continues to stay steady, all right? And it's pretty awesome. Now, here's the thing. I was gladly paying the $7 and some, whatever it was, the higher amount before. Not because I enjoy just spending my money, of course, not because I like fees, because, ladies and gentlemen, I hate fees, but because I believe in what I'm participating in, all right? I believe in the technology. I believe in the vision of MoveQuest. I believe in where this thing is going and where it could go, but I am a little bit more forward thinking than could. I believe in where it is going. Now, one of the reasons I am able to mine as much as I do is because I already live a pretty active life. Now, for those of you that did not know, I'm an entertainer, I'm an MC, I'm a singer, I'm a former athlete, so I just have an active lifestyle, right? On weekends, excuse me, I am constantly moving. I'm constantly walking around wherever the venue is for the wedding, corporate event, whatever the case may be, carrying equipment, interacting with guests, dancing, hosting, running from one side of the ballroom to another side of the ballroom. Nothing crazy, right? But enough that I regularly finish a weekend, a weekend night, like one night with over 20,000 steps, 25,000 steps in a day. And that's why the weekends are usually my strongest mining days. And as I was doing my submission for this morning, I just started thinking about how many people are already focused on activity, right? They already live active lifestyles. I don't think everyone is trying to get healthier, but everyone should be trying to get healthier, all right? It's actually trendy now that people are counting steps, right? It's pretty funny. Everybody has an Apple Watch, and it's funny I'm talking about my Apple Watch, and I do not have mine on today. I had to charge it after a long weekend. But most people have some sort of Apple Watch, or some sort of fitness tracker. As a matter of fact, this past weekend I was participating in a church conference, and one of the leaders one of the clergy that was participating in the service, he grabbed the microphone during a praise break, y'all, and he said, "Hold on, y'all, I need to get my steps in." Can you believe that? He said, "Hold on, I need to get my steps in. I'm wearing an Apple Watch. I need to get my steps in, y'all." Then he started praise dancing for like 3-4 minutes straight, right? It was a high time. The spirit was moving in that place. But what stood out to me was everyone that understood exactly what he meant by that. There was people putting their wrists up like Shadur. It was out there like, "I got my Apple Watch, I'm getting my steps in." You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew exactly what he meant. Nobody was confused, because tracking activity has become part of our culture, ladies and gentlemen. People care about movement. People are starting to care a little bit more about their health. People care about their steps. And when I think about that, I start wondering what happens when more people realize that they can participate in an ecosystem that recognizes activity that they were already doing. That part is exciting to me, ladies and gentlemen. Now, another thing that got me thinking this morning was a conversation that I recently had with somebody who was sharing another opportunity with me. Now, I understand exactly what they were doing, right? I've been in this space for a long time. I've built teams. I've shared opportunities. I've recruited people. I've marketed products. I've heard every pitch imaginable, all right? So when someone starts talking about diversification and why I should be looking at something else and all that stuff, I understand that language, all right? I understand that psychology. I understand sales process. And honestly, I don't even disagree with the idea of diversification. That's not the point. Diversification is very important. The question is when, all right? Because you can diversify all day long when you have capital to diversify. But before that point, sometimes focus is more valuable than diversification. Okay, sometimes the greatest thing that you can do is commit to one thing long enough to see what happens with it, all right? One of the biggest mistakes that I've made throughout my entrepreneurial journey is spreading myself too thin, like way too thin, trying to do 5, 6, 7 things all at one time, trying to do 10 things at one time, trying to chase every opportunity that comes across my desk or that comes to my email. I won't get close when I say this. And what usually happens is none of them get my best effort. And some of you might feel that way, all right? At some point, you have to make a decision. At some point, you have to say, this is the vehicle I'm riding with, all right? For me, it's MoveQuest, and I can say that with the utmost confidence. Now, does that mean I'll never diversify? Absolutely not, all right? I fully expect to have a diversified portfolio in the future. In fact, I believe MoveQuest is helping create that future. But right now, my focus is on maximizing the opportunity that I already believe in, all right? And one of the reasons I believe in it so much is because of all the things that I have learned. People ask me all the time, why am I so passionate about MoveQuest? All right, the answer isn't just about the token itself. It's about the education that I've received. I've learned more about cryptocurrency and blockchain, liquidity, tokenomics, supply and demand, and decentralized systems through this journey in MoveQuest than I have ever learned in the 5-6 years of anything I have ever done in the crypto space, other than, of course, what you learned about XRP and Bitcoin and the real coins out there, all right? And I'm not claiming to be some kind of crypto expert. I am still learning every single day. But one thing that I do understand now is the difference between centralized systems and decentralized systems, all right? Most of our lives are built around centralization, all right, and centralized systems. Banks are centralized. Institutions are centralized. Most of the things that we interact with require us to trust someone else's reporting. Trust what they tell us, all right? Trust their paperwork. Trust their accounting, right? Trust their records. Blockchain introduces a different concept. You can verify it yourself. You can look at it yourself. You can study it yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is so powerful because when something is truly on chain, people can say whatever they want, but the blockchain tells the story every single time. That's one of the things that continues to stand out to me about MoveQuest. The transparency that is there, the ability to verify, the ability to learn, the ability to understand how things work. And honestly, I think that's why so many people struggle to understand it right now. Not because they are incapable, because I think everyone is capable of learning the MoveQuest system, but because it's different. You know, human beings are naturally resistant to things that challenge the way they have always thought. And quite honestly, that's okay, all right? Everyone moves at their own pace. Y'all know me and my style. I'm not here to try to convince anybody, all right? I'm not trying to force anybody to agree with me, join teams with me, nothing like that. I'm not trying to win debates. I've learned that the best thing that I can do is just simply live my life, share my experiences, document my journey, tell the truth about what I'm learning. and let people make their own decisions, all right? And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I've done, and I will continue to do, all right? Nobody's forced me to be involved with MoveQuest. Nobody's holding a gun to my head. Nobody convinced me that this was the best thing to do. I did the research for myself. It seemed like a practical thing for me to be involved in, and it was right along where I was in my own personal journey with my health and fitness. Information was presented. I studied it, I learned, I made a decision, and now I'm living with that decision every single day. Do you see me frowning? I'm excited about this decision that I made, and I'm excited to talk about it. And as I sit here on June 1st, I find myself thinking less about changing everything and more about becoming more intentional. I think sometimes we believe that growth means starting all over again, and I don't think that's true. I think growth often means becoming better at the things you're already doing. All right, being more disciplined, being more consistent, more focused. What if I worked out a little more consistently? What if I posted content a little more consistently? What if I studied a little more consistently? What if I showed up every day with just a little more intention? Because success rarely comes from one giant moment. Most successes come from small actions repeated over and over and over again, ladies and gentlemen. The workouts, the steps, the submissions, the videos, the studying, the conversations, the habits, they don't seem significant on a daily basis, but stack them together over months, over years, and ladies and gentlemen, you become that overnight success everybody talks about. They become life-changing, okay? So that's where my head is today. June 1st, 2026, a new month, it's a new week, it's Monday, it's a fresh opportunity, and not necessarily to become somebody different, but to become a better version of the person I'm already working to become. And if there's one lesson that I've learned through fitness, through my musical endeavors, through entrepreneurship, through ministry, and even through crypto, it's this: consistency compounds. Now, y'all know we love that compounding word in this field of work, right? We compound this and compound that. Let's start compounding some consistency, all right? The future belongs to the people who keep showing up. And that's exactly what I plan to do. And I will see y'all at the top. Put your 2FA on all the platforms that will allow you, and all of the wallets that will allow you as well. Because if you ain't strapped, you're bound to get hacked, all right? Ask me how I know. It's not very fun when you're out here getting hacked in crypto land, all right? Stay diligent, stay vigilant in this space and in the comment section. I'll see y'all on the next one. This is my MoveQuest rant for the day. Y'all can tell I love my experience in MoveQuest, and I hope you all will join us and be more intentional about your health, be more intentional about your walk in this crypto space, and being more intentional about learning. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.